Assalamu alaikum. Hello dear students, how are you? Hope this video class will find you hale and hearty. As usual, today I'm here to spend some time with you to help you with your English second paper. Okay, let me introduce first. This is Aminul Islam, your English teacher, and this class has been created for the students of class 9 and 10, and the subject is English second paper, grammar part, and the topic is changing narrative style part 1. And here is one example to understand direct speech and indirect speech. You see here uh, two people, Paul and Jack. Paul is expressing his feeling, and Jack is narrating Paul's feeling to a third party or somebody else. You see, Paul says, "I'm feeling ill," and Jack is narrating to another person, saying, "Paul said that he was feeling ill." So it can be one of the best examples to understand direct speech and indirect speech. Let's move on to the next slide. Okay, today's lesson is actually changing direct speech to indirect speech. Okay, learning outcomes by the students of this lesson. Students will be able to define direct and indirect speech, differentiate between direct and indirect speech, identify examples of direct and indirect speech, change pronouns and verbs and tenses in indirect speech. Okay. Okay. Yes, see. Today we will discuss basically on statements. And this class has been basically created for the beginners, and if you remain attentive to the class and note down whatever is important to you, I think you will be greatly benefited. Okay, remain attentive to the class and note down whatever you need. Okay, you see our direct speech. What is direct speech? Here is a definition, but you don't need to memorize the definition. It's just for your better understanding what direct speech is. When we report the exact words of the speaker without any change, then this mode of communication is called direct speech. Here you see example. He said, "I'm hungry." Uh, Here the exact words of the speaker are "I'm hungry," and the words reported without any change. There is no change. It's reported what the speaker says exactly. Okay, then move on to the next. Let's see what indirect speech is. When we do not report the real words of the speaker and we change them, then this mode of communication is called indirect speech. Here is also you can see the example. He said that he was hungry. First we saw that in direct speech he said, "I'm hungry." Here he said that he was hungry, and here we change the real words of the speaker, "I'm hungry," to "he was hungry." So it's an easier example for you how to change. Okay, and uh, here is another picture for you. You see uh, Tom is writing something. He is very busy. He is very busy. So Tom is the speaker, and you see also there is a narrator and the listener. You see, Tom says, "I'm very busy now." You see here are two more people. One is David and the other one is Harry. Here you see, David tells Harry at a different time. Not now. At a different time, David tells Harry. So what David tells Harry? Tom said, "I am very busy now." Tom says, "I'm very busy now." But here David, uh, the narrator, tells Harry that Tom said, "I am very busy now." Tom said, "I am very busy now." Got it? Okay, let's move on to the next. Uh, you will gradually learn better, I think. two parts of direct and indirect speech. You see, reporting speech. Reporting speech contains the words of a speaker, the person who is reporting the message. And reported speech. Reported speech contains the words of a speaker whose message is reported. So here are the two parts of direct and indirect speech. One is reporting speech and the other one is reported speech. Let's see an example. Tom said, I am very busy now. Tom said is the reporting speech and I am very busy now is the reported speech. Reported speech in the quotation marks. It's within the quotation mark and out of the quotation mark the reporting speech. Tom said. Okay, let's move on to the next. Here is another picture for you. It's to understand about indirect speech or indirect speech or reported speech. Okay, you see Tom said, I am very busy now. He's the speaker. The reporter or the narrator is David. David tells this Harry at a different time. So the reporter of the narrator David and the listener is Harry as before. So the reporter David tells Harry, Tom said he was very busy then. Tom say, here you see, the speaker says, the speaker that means Tom say, I am very busy now. And David or that means the narrator tells Harry, Tom said he was very busy then. Okay, now let's see the fundamental rules for indirect speech. Tom said, I am very busy now. Direct speech. And Tom said that he was very busy then. Indirect speech. Can you notice uh, which words are changed in indirect speech? Okay, let's see. Change in the exact words of the speaker. I am very busy now. He was very busy then. No use of speech marks or quotation marks. You see, no quotation marks in indirect speech. And the pronoun I is changed to he. I is changed to he. And the verb am is changed to was. Am is changed to was. Got it? Then the adverb now is changed to then. Now is changed to then. Okay, you can add an optional conjunction that between the reporting verb and reported speech. Here you see, Tom said that. That is a conjunction word. And he was very busy then. This one is the reported speech. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Rules and steps for change in indirect speech. Change of pronouns. You see, if they are said, I like to fly kites. How is it changed to indirect speech? If they are said that I became he. He liked to fly kites. Here we used used that as conjunction word, and I became he. And like became liked, like becomes liked, uh, because the reporting verb is past tense. We'll discuss it later. Okay, I have bought balloons for my sister, Abid said. Abid said that I became he. He had, have become, have becomes had. He had bought balloons for his sister. My sister, his sister. Change of pronouns, remember. Ima said to her mother, I was feeding my kitten. Ima told her mother that she had been feeding her kitten. Do you notice something here, something different here? E. Here is E. Can you guess what E means here? Actually, when the pronoun can become almost similar uh, for the two people, both the speaker and the listener. You see, Ima is a girl and mother is also a girl. For these two uh, persons or people, we have to bring pronoun she. So when we write she, we have to indicate uh, uh, we have to write something indicator such as the first letter of the word. Here we wrote Ima. E means Ima. If we indicate uh, uh, by she as her mother, we should write here M, that means mother. Okay, she means Ima, and also here her means Ima. And it was actually said by Ima. Ima said to her mother, both here I and my uh, indicate actually Ima. So Ima told her mother that Ima, had been feeding her Ima hidden. You have to remember this pronoun change and to write uh, the first letter of the person who you are indicating to. Okay, let's move over to the next slide. You see change of pronouns, how it's changed in direct speech. I becomes he or she, uh, if male or female, he or she, and then we becomes they, mine, can be his, hers, or ours. Yeah, and me, him, or her, and ours, theirs, us, them, myself, ourselves, uh, can be changed to himself, herself, or themselves. Okay, now move on to the next slide. In direct speech, read the following examples. Direct: Regia says, I am good at math. Indirect: Regia says that she is good at math. You see, the reporting the reporting verb is in present tense, and the tense in the reported speech is not changed, and in the present tense, and is also in the present tense. So when the reporting verb is in present or future tense, you don't need to change the tense of reported speech, remember. Okay, but when the reporting verb is in the past tense, you need to change the tense of reported speech. Okay, indirect speech, now tense change. When you report the speaker's words at a different time and place, move back in time. You have to move back in time. Present and future into past, past into past perfect. It can be said as backshift. So from now on we'll mark it as backshift. Okay. Then you see backshift of tenses. Backshift of tenses, direct and indirect. Uh, First one is present simple. She said, "It's cold," and it's changed to past simple. She said that it was cold. Next one, present continuous, uh, is changed to past continuous. She said, "I am teaching English online." Past continuous, you see indirect. She said that she was teaching English. She said that she was teaching English online. And present perfect continuous becomes past perfect continuous. She said, "I have been learning speech narration for 2 hours." And indirect, she said she had been learning speech narration for 2 hours. Here we didn't use that because it's optional. You can put it or not. Uh, okay, then come to the next one, present perfect. She said, "I have browsed the web." It's changed to past perfect. How? You see, she said she had browsed the web. Here also we didn't use that conjunction word because it's optional. And next one is simple past, became past perfect. She said, "I taught online yesterday." Is changed to she said she taught or she had taught online the day before or the previous day. You see, yesterday is changed to previous day, the previous day or the day before. You have to remember these things. We'll find more soon, I think. Okay, and then move on to the next one. She said, I was teaching earlier. This one is past continuous, and past continuous is changed to past perfect continuous. She said she had been teaching earlier. I was teaching, she had been teaching. Past continuous is changed to past perfect continuous. And here is the change in expressions of time. You see direct speech and indirect speech. Today, that day, yesterday is changed to the day before or the previous day. Tomorrow, the next day or the following day. And next week, next year, etc. The following week, the following year, etc. And last week is changed to previous week. Now is changed to then. Last night is changed to the night before. And this is changed to those. This when it indicates time expression, that, and this when it's adjective, it's changed to the, and it also sometimes changed to that. Okay, more to the next one. Backshift of modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries are also changed. You see direct speech and indirect speech. May change to might. Can is changed to could. Will or shall. When these are future, they are changed to would. Must uh, sometimes remains must, or most often is changed to had to. And you see here some more modal auxiliaries which have no back shift. They are should remain should, could, might, ought to remains ought to, and would remains would, and used to remains used to. These modal auxiliaries don't have backshift. Okay, now here are some examples for you. You can now understand better, I think. You see direct speech. He said, I will buy a book tomorrow. He said, and omit the comma, and also omit the quotation marks, and put that. It's optional. So you can write, he said that I becomes he. That means I is changed to he, and will is changed to would. He would buy a book tomorrow is changed to the next day. Next one. She said, I am happy now. She said that I is changed to she, am is changed to was, happy now is changed to then. Direct speech, third one. Uh, he said, I like this book. You see, he said that I is changed to he, like is changed to liked, past tense, and this is changed to that. He said that he liked that book. And fourth one, she said, I'll teach English online tomorrow. She said, she, I is changed to she, will is changed to would, and teach English online tomorrow is changed to the following day. And next one, she said, I must have a computer to teach English online. She said, I is changed to she, must had to, must is changed to had to, or sometimes it remains must. Here you can keep it as must, or it's better to change it into had to, but sometimes when must means compulsion, yeah, you know you don't need to change. That means must remains must. Here you can change it or not. So she had to have a computer to teach English online, or she must have a computer to teach English online. And next one, she said, I can teach English online. And in direct speeches, she said that is optional. I is changed to she, can is changed to could teach English online. And now 7, she said, I may be late. She said that is optional. She said that she might be late. Okay. Um, Now move on to the next slide. And in the speech, you have to remember these things. If you are reporting a fact, remember, if you are reporting a fact, all that glitters is not gold, said grandma. Direct speech. Grandma said, all that glitter is not gold. Indirect speech. Here, what grandma said, the tense remains unchanged. That means all that glitter is not gold. It was in present tense, and here also it's in present tense. Grandma said, all that glitter is not gold. No tense changed. Remember it. That means tense remains unchanged here. And another one is when you report a permanent situation. Uh, you see, Copernicus concluded Earth revolves around the sun. Direct speech. And in that speech, Copernicus concluded Earth revolves around the sun. It also remains unchanged because it's a permanent situation. So you should remember these two things. One is when you are reporting a fact, and the other one is a permanent situation. In these two cases, uh, the tense of reported speech remains unchanged. In the speech, no backshift is possible. You see here, no backshift is possible. If direct speech is in the past perfect, if direct speech is in the past perfect, no backshift. That means you don't need to go back. I had already told him the news. Tom told me. Direct speech. Tom told me that he had already told him the news. So past perfect remains past perfect. Had already told. Had already told. Here only the uh, subject or the pronouns uh, are changed, but the tense didn't. And or in the past perfect continuous, that means past perfect or past perfect continuous, it remains unchanged. That means they have no backshift. You see, Marv said, I had been learning English for 6 months. This one is direct speech. And in direct speech, Marv said he had been learning English for 6 months. Had been learning English remains unchanged, remains similar, but only the pronoun I is changed to he. So you should remember these two things, and we will find some more. Let's see. And past forms of modal auxiliaries, for example, could, would, should, etc. We know it. Few minutes back we learned about this. These modal auxiliaries actually don't have any backshift. They remain the same in both direct speech and indirect speech. And you see, indirect speech. Now review. Now we are going to have a review now. We are almost at the end of this class today. And now let's see what we learned today. Um, Change in speakers words, removal of commas, comma is removed, change of pronouns, first and second person pronouns shift to third person. Can you remember first and second person pronouns shift to third person? I becomes he or she, and you becomes they, etc. Okay. Backshifting of tense. I step back into past. I step back into past. That means present to past indefinite, present to past, or when it's past into past perfect. But uh, past perfect and past perfect continuous remain unchanged. Okay, change of adverbs of time, time expression. We know today becomes that day, tomorrow becomes the following day. Tense of the verb is not backshifted when you uh, report a fact or a permanent situation. Can you remember? And actual words are in past perfect or past perfect continuous. That means past perfect or past perfect continuous remains unchanged. The tense. And past forms of modal verb. That means could, would, might, they are not changed. And reporting words that have just been spoken with reference to present time, and the reporting verb is say, says, or tell, tells. We also learned this when we say that Rizvi says something, and the reporting verb is here says, so the tense of the reported speech uh, remains unchanged. Can you remember? Okay, these are the things we learned today. Um, and all this actually have been taken from sources. You see, practical English usage, Michael Swan, by Michael Swan, and a practical English grammar by A.J. Thompson and A.B. Martinet, and Longman English grammar, L.G. Alexander. Um, these are the references that all the sources have been taken from uh, these books. Okay, that's it for today. Uh, Try to practice at home, and I'm coming to you again soon with the narrative style part 2 and part 3. Till then, best of luck. Allah Hafiz.